There was a time I was completely hooked on this girl. I'd wake up thinking about her, wondering what she was doing, checking my phone constantly hoping she'd text me first. I'd text her every morning, send her memes to make her laugh, drop random compliments to keep her interested, and try to plan little surprises just to see her smile or get a reaction. At first, it felt like it was working. She was replying fast, laughing at my jokes, and making plans with me, and I felt like I was on top of the world. I was convinced that if I just kept this effort up, if I kept showing her I cared, if I kept reminding her that I was there for her, she would eventually see how serious I was and feel the same way about me. But slowly, the vibe changed in ways I didn't even notice at first. Her replies got shorter. She started taking longer to respond, sometimes leaving me unread for hours or a whole day. She would cancel plans at the last minute, saying she was tired or had something else to do, and I would just smile and tell her it was okay, even when it wasn't. I found myself analyzing every single word she sent, replaying conversations in my head, asking myself if I had said something wrong, if I was being too much or not enough, constantly stuck in a cycle of overthinking. One night, after staring at my phone for hours, waiting for her to reply to a message I had sent, I just stopped and asked myself what I was doing. Why was I working so hard for someone's attention when she wasn't giving me the same energy back? Why was I draining myself trying to make someone like me who wasn't even trying for me? In that moment, I decided to stop chasing. I decided to stop chasing her, and instead, I turned that energy back to myself. It wasn't easy at first because I was so used to checking my phone every few minutes, waiting for her reply, or feeling the urge to send her something funny just to keep the conversation going. But I forced myself to put the phone down and focus on what I had been neglecting. I started hitting the gym again, not to impress anyone, but to feel strong and disciplined in my own body. I began waking up earlier, going for runs before the sun came up, letting the cold air slap me awake, reminding myself that I still had control over how I felt each day. I spent more time with my friends, laughing with them, staying out late without checking my phone every 2 seconds, and I realized how much I had abandoned my own life to orbit around someone else's. I picked up hobbies I had dropped, like reading the books stacked on my desk or practicing guitar, letting myself get lost in the process without thinking about posting it online for anyone's approval. I started to genuinely enjoy my own company again, sitting in quiet moments, making coffee for myself in the morning without immediately checking notifications, feeling the warmth in my hands and the peace that came with not chasing anyone's attention. And here's what happened, exactly as I didn't expect it. A week later, out of nowhere, she texted me asking why I had been so quiet, why I hadn't been texting her as much, and suddenly she was the one starting conversations and trying to make plans. It was almost like the moment I stopped trying so hard to prove my worth to her, she began to notice it on her own, reminding me that the less you force someone to see your value, the more space you give them to find it themselves. That's when I realized how much power there is in simply not trying to impress people all the time. I started to notice it in every conversation, every interaction I had, not just with her, but with everyone around me. Before, I used to overthink every word I said, trying to be funny, trying to be interesting, trying to make people like me, as if their approval was the final stamp that decided if I was good enough. I'd find myself explaining my stories in long detail, filling every silence with nervous chatter, laughing too quickly at things that weren't even funny, and in every silence, I would panic, thinking if I didn't keep the conversation going, they would lose interest. But when I stopped chasing her, I also stopped chasing validation in general. I started letting silences happen. I would hold eye contact calmly instead of looking away or checking my phone to escape the discomfort. If there was a pause, I didn't rush to fill it, and surprisingly, those silences became moments of connection rather than awkward gaps. I noticed how people leaned in more when I wasn't trying to sell myself, how they seemed to value what I said more when I didn't say it to impress them. It was like taking a deep breath after holding it for too long. The less I tried to prove something, the more people seemed to naturally give me respect without me having to ask for it. I started to feel grounded, knowing that I didn't need to perform to be liked, that just being comfortable with myself was enough. It flipped the script completely, making me realize that people are drawn to those who don't need their approval to feel confident, and when you stop trying so hard, you finally give people the space to appreciate you for who you really are. One of the biggest shifts I noticed during this period was how people responded when I stopped chasing, not just her but in every situation. Before, I was always the guy who was quick to say yes, quick to respond, quick to adjust my schedule, quick to do whatever was needed just to make sure people liked me or didn't feel disappointed in me. I thought that was what being a good friend, a good partner, or even a good man meant: being available, showing up, proving myself every chance I got. But what I didn't see was how quickly it made me predictable, how easily it took away any sense of mystery or challenge. It was like handing out a part of myself to anyone who would take it, and in the process, I left nothing for myself. When I stopped chasing, I stopped being so available, and I started living in a way where I didn't need to prove anything to anyone. If someone texted me, I would reply when I was ready, not out of anxiety or fear of losing them. If someone asked me to hang out, I didn't drop everything instantly. I checked in with myself first to see if it aligned with what I wanted to do. I started to realize that the people who genuinely valued me didn't mind when I took my time, or when I had boundaries. They respected it, and they even seemed to want my time more because I wasn't giving it away so easily. It felt like a weight lifting off my chest, knowing I could be there for people without losing myself in the process. It was freeing to see that the less I chased people's attention, the more they naturally wanted to be around me, not because I was trying to earn their approval, but because I was living fully in my own presence. As I kept living this way, I began to see how women notice everything, even the things you think they don't see. It's not just about how you act around them when you're on a date or talking to them directly. It's about how you carry yourself when you walk into a room, how you handle a bad day, how you speak to people who can't offer you anything, how you handle your own mistakes without making excuses. I started to notice that they paid attention when I would calmly handle a frustrating situation, like when plans changed last minute or when I was dealing with a stressful day, but didn't let it turn me bitter. They noticed how I treated the waiter with respect, how I kept my word when I said I would do something, and how I didn't talk badly about other people to try to look better. All these small things built a silent reputation, and it wasn't something I had to announce or flex online. It was something people felt just by being around me. That's when I understood that attraction isn't something you manufacture by trying too hard. It's something you earn by how you live. Being the prize isn't about pretending you don't care or playing fake games. It's about living a life that you are proud of so that you don't feel the need to chase people who aren't meant to be there. The more I focused on my goals, kept myself grounded, and handled my emotions without seeking validation, the more people seemed to gravitate toward me naturally. I stopped worrying about what she thought about me, and I started asking if I was proud of how I was showing up. When you live like you're the prize, you don't need to say it, and the people meant for you will see it without you having to prove anything at all.